Listen, the games, they gotta stop. The lies gotta stop too. I'm tired of it. The joke's up, okay? We're not buying the pathetic and disgraceful lies spewing from this White House anymore about their policies, because the policies are a wrecking ball for our middle class. Yeah, that's us. This 8.5% inflation number is the highest we've seen in more than 4 decades. I was seven the last time it was this bad. It's fairly obvious how we got here. You can't just print trillions of dollars, flush it into the economy to chase the same or fewer amount of products in a supply chain crisis and then play stupid and say, gee, I don't know why prices are going up. This is a huge middle-class tax hike Americans are paying for every day. But when Putin invaded Ukraine, it created the perfect cover story for the Biden administration to lie as needed.
Putin's invasion of Ukraine has driven up gas prices and food prices all over the world. Make no mistake, the current spike in gas prices is largely the fault of Vladimir Putin. It has nothing to do with the American Rescue Plan. The battle for freedom has its cost here at home as well. People are already feeling Putin's price hikes at the pump.
Guy's the worst. He makes Biden, he makes Obama look like Thomas Jefferson. Biden refuses to take a shred of responsibility for the economic suffering millions of Americans are dealing with right now. Remember in the months before Putin's invasion, the excuse, before the Putin excuse, the excuse back then was inflation was just temporary.
As our economy has come roaring back, we've seen some price increases. And the data shows that most of the price increases we've seen were expected and expected to be temporary.
But when it became obvious that it wasn't Putin and it wasn't temporary, instead of just doing this crazy thing like telling the truth, the Biden administration just switched to a new cover story. Here's Jen Psaki claiming inflation, this is hilarious, is actually improving month to month.
If you compare month to month, we've seen inflationary pressure or inflationary numbers go down month to month.
Yeah, no, we haven't seen that. Nobody's seen that anywhere. There is no sane, sentient being in the known universe who's actually seen that. And here's the thing. See, you can actually go online to the interweb and look that up. The data is right in front of you for anyone to see. It's not getting better, it's getting worse. So why is this so important? The Biden administration has been lying since day one. It's what the left does, they lie. But why lie? Why is this lie about inflation such a huge, enormous deal? Because here's the truth. Inflation is the most destructive tax hike in modern U.S. history, and it is decimating our middle class for an obvious reason. Here's what matters most to the middle class. Rent, food, and transportation. Gotta eat. It's kind of important. Well, look at how much those necessities are going up. Housing, 5%. Food, 10%. Transportation, 22%. Meanwhile, Democrats pretend to be your friend. You know, they're the party of the working class American. Full of it.
We can keep coming together and invest in the backbone of America, the working class and the middle class folks.
The middle class is the backbone of our democracy. We have to strengthen the middle class and all who aspire to it.
It's under Democratic leadership that we'll continue to work to lower costs, to fight inflation, give working families ladders of opportunity to get to the middle class and thrive there once they are in the middle class.
They're full of it. Now for just a quick little before I get to my guest here. So this week I was sitting around a couple family members and the guy came into the house. We know, I'll leave out who it was. Hey, you know, my teacher told me Biden had nothing to do with the gas crisis. He said, Mr. Dan, you know, what do I say to him? I said, your teacher's not that bright. Number one, that's a problem. My wife said, maybe you shouldn't have said that, but he's really not. The teacher said to him, yeah, you know, gas leases. The oil companies are sitting on 9,000 gas leases. Biden said so. I said, wow, that's really weird. Biden told you the gas companies are super greedy. So they're super greedy, but they're sitting on 9,000 gas leases that they could make money off? Kind of weird, right? Your teacher couldn't figure that out. Then he said, yeah, the teacher told us too that gas is a global market that Biden can't control. And I sat there and I thought to myself, a global market? That's kind of weird because we live on that globe. Like the United States is kind of on the globe. Yeah, North America, you know, tectonic plates and all that. Like we're on the globe. And we're also the biggest global producer of oil. And Biden is the president of the country that's the biggest global producer of oil. So it's kind of weird how your teacher's teaching and doesn't really know that. Strange, right? Joining me now is Fox News contributor and our good friend, Leo Terrell. Leo, gosh, we love having you back on the show. Your thoughts on this endless litany of lies. They're not the party of the middle class. That's why you left and came over to the conservative side. They abandoned the middle class.
Your monologue was perfect, spot on. Let's be very clear. The Democrats are lying every day, every day. This inflation, Dan, is self-inflicted. It's self-inflicted because Joe Biden, in his obsession to become president of the United States, sold out the American public to satisfy these Green New Deal extremists. Dan, we are energy independent. If we want to be, we were in that situation a couple years ago. But this inflation, you're absolutely right. You can't hide from it. It affects everyone. You can try to hide with your accountant with a tax hike, but not inflation. Look who it's hurting. It's hurting retirees in their 401k plan. It's forcing people to go back to work. People who have decided to retire, but they can't because their money has lost value. Because of Joe Biden's commitment to the extreme left. And then here's the sad part, the American public, they know it. His refusal to acknowledge that Donald Trump gave us an economy, he made us energy independent, he secured our border, but these guys are so hell-bent on destroying this country to satisfy the extremists on the left.
Now, Leo, you're an actual advocate for the middle class. You're a civil rights attorney. That's what you actually do. The biggest joke